All right, so what we're asked to do here is add and subtract polynomials. So of course in the number one you can see we get two polynomials, two second degree or quadratic polynomials. And what are we being told to do? Add them together. Okay, so this one's grouped with parentheses, this one's grouped with parentheses. So we can drop that parentheses, both of those sets of parentheses as our first step. It doesn't really change the problem. If that were a minus sign right here, which is what you're going to see in the number two, then we're going to have to distribute a negative. That's a big difference. If it's just plus, you're just adding everything there. Okay, so what I did was I dropped my parentheses, and now I'm just going to add like terms. Those guys are like. Notice how I circled the plus sign there. It's important. These guys are like. Notice how I'm always including the sign in front of it. And let's see, my last term, my number term. Okay, so now I can combine them. So the two guys I circled in red, how do I add 3x squared to 5x squared? I add the coefficients. It's still an x squared term. Don't make that x to the fourth. You're not multiplying. What I boxed in blue, -5 minus 10 is -15. That's your x term. And the black diamond, -12 plus 8 is -4. And I'm done. I can't combine those any further. I got an x squared term, an x term, and a number term. Let's take a look at the second problem. So again, like I mentioned before, this is very important, that negative sign. That means I got to distribute that to both numbers. And I see this mistake all the time. The negative gets distributed to the first term, but not to the second. Okay? So for the first set of parentheses, there's no negative in front, so I can drop them, 8x minus 7, and now distribute. Negative to positive 3x is negative 3x. Negative to -15 is positive 15. Okay, another way to think about that is to think of it as multiplying by -1. All right, so it's -1 times 3, -3, -1 times -15, positive 15. Okay, or in other words, it's just going to change the sign of everything inside. So the 3 was positive, now it's negative. The 15 was negative, now it's positive. Okay, and now I can combine like terms, 5x plus 8. And I'm done. Don't try and add those two together. One's an x term, one's a number. Okay, finally, subtraction again. So I'm going to distribute. That's the key to these problems, distributing that negative. All right, in the first case, there's no negative in front. It's just parentheses, so I drop them. 13x squared plus 5x plus 10. Distribute the negative sign. Negative 4x squared, positive 4x squared. Negative 5x, positive 5x, and negative 10. Whoops. Negative to a positive 10, and negative 10. Okay, and like I said before, notice that was a negative, a positive. Now what do we have? Positive, positive, negative. It changed the sign of everything inside. When I said it changed the sign, I mean this. That changes the sign of everything in the parentheses. Now I can combine like terms, like, and like. Okay, so 13x squared plus 4x squared, that's 17x squared. 5x plus 5x is 10x. And what is 10 minus 10? That's 0. Okay, so I'm done right there.